Hello? Girl, what page are you on?
It will be interesting. I almost wonder if the next book we're going to get more split of like Zayd and POV, Violet POV, Zayd and POV, and see if it's going to be in tandem or like even if like the first book part of the book is Violet and the second book is part Zayden or something.
Mhm.
It'd be interesting. Like part of me is like, oh, I really want the next book. But the other part of me is like, we're starting Crescent City and it's just, it's whole. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that we are whole. My heart isn't broken. It's whole. Also, and that's why I'm like trying to fill in my time of like, I don't want to think about on how Onyx Storm ended. So I've been like cruising through other books that I know are completed. So I don't know if Sam saw that or not.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Girl, What Page You On? I'm one of your three gorgeous hosts. I am Kayla, here for the history Collins. With me, as always, is here for the spice, Miss Samantha Shariah. And of course, we can't match the speed, and there's no way any of us are ever going to keep up. We have Speed Reader Par. So, everybody, we are almost to the end of Onyx Storm. That's very scary. And I feel like we need to announce something. Ash, what do we need to announce?
It is the spoilers. Spoilers. I cannot keep my mouth shut much longer, guys. I need this to be done. So, spoiler alert, we are continually talking about the story, plots, hidden theories, and the tea. So, this is your warning. You've been warned.
So today we are covering chapters 51 to 60 of Onyx Storm. You've already had your warning, so let's get into battle brief. We start off, Basgiath is under attack. Is anyone else immediately crying when Reed, Dane, and the squad jump in and step up so that they can fight alongside Violet? Before they rush off, Auric tells Vi that she needs to protect Dune's temple. Weird, more on that later. The battle at Ryerson House begins, and it's some of the best dragon wyvern combat that we've read so far. Theophany arrives and threatens Violet, but quickly runs away as wyverns start plummeting from the sky. The wards seem to be on because the Irids have arrived. Leothan is here, and he fired the wardstone for Arisha. He puts them through the tuning fork to chat, and then he speaks directly with Andarna and Violet. He tells Andarna that she can sever her bond with Violet because Irids have a special power over changing how magic works, and that she could return to him to learn the ways of the Irids. To my very big surprise, Andarna does, and she completely breaks our hearts and Violet's hearts, and she just drives away and doesn't look back. The next few chapters, depression is very real. Violet is in a deep, deep state of depression from losing Andarna, and Mira finds out about Zayden, and she is pissed. They are still at Ryerson House and are making plans to prep for the future battles that are coming up. Violet is back in class and back to sleeping with Zayden, so we get a little piece of normalcy here. Violet walks into Zayden's dream, but this time she knows it. She meets the sage who's there, and she tells her that she has to go to them or she dies. I have a bad feeling about who she is, and shortly after, my suspicions are confirmed when Garrick comes with a message from Theophany. They have Mira. So they devise a plan to save Mira, which we find out in real time. So they approach Dreyfus, which is covered in hordes of wyvern. Auric and Mulvik are spotted flying south. Why? After a brief interaction with Theophany, they bring out Jack in the Rebustan chest as Theophany requested, but Theophany still slits Mira's throat and stating that Venin lie. So Mira's dying. Brennan tries to mend her, but he's burning out. And Sloane and Dane arrive, and Sloane sifts her power into Brennan, helping save Mira, who they then medevac the hell out of there. Xaden and the others go off to save the city, while Violet and Bodhi are left to complete their part of the mission, which we'll find out soon. Bodhi and Violet are facing off with Theophany, and they realize that Theophany is not a lightning wielder as we formerly thought, but in fact is a weather wielder, and she was the balance to Mama Sorrengail's weather wielding. Theophany and Violet are alone in the field as Wyvern take off for the pass to Deverelli. Theophany urges Violet to channel from the earth to try and save them, but our girl refuses. The chapter ends with Violet's immediate monologue: when push comes to shove, I'm not the best of us, she is. And that is your battle brief.
Dun, dun,
What do
dun.
we think? What do we think? What were your initial thoughts and feelings on these 10 chapters?
I called it early.
What did you call?
About Cam having foresight. I called it literally in 51. I want to say, oh no, hold on. Right at, yeah.
I called Arik having foresight at the end of 40. But because I knew for a fact I didn't want to bring it up.
Well, like it's
No.
been such a roller coaster with him. I think that now looking back, I definitely saw it, but like I guess it's 51 is when I called it. 50? Oh no. 53.
I feel like I called
Maybe.
nothing because I didn't give a shit about what he was doing. I only gave a shit about our main characters, which was stupid because the reality is we're gonna get so much of the others in the next book. But I just feel like there's too much happening and I can't keep track. Like I need like you know how when you watch like a reality TV show and just their names pop up every single time and like it'll be like so and so like does this for a living. Like I need that. I need that to pop up every time they're mentioned. I need their names, I need their dragon names, and every time. I can't remember. I can't keep it straight.
Definitely the best battle scenes yet, I think. This one definitely had a lot more going between everybody in a sense. So I my first quote off the bat is and Darna being sassy as always. Taryn's super stoked. He's gonna get to use his blackness to fly through the night and not be detected. He's so excited. And Darna, like a spiteful teenager, says, that's not really anything impressive. And he's
So
just
cute.
like just kind of huffs it. But he's super stoked because very rarely does he get to use his night stealth mode essentially. Um, so yeah, I love that immediately.
We had like so many ups and downs in these chapters. Like Violet and Xaden get a little slice of normalcy, but also we're missing and Darna chooses to leave, which is heartbreaking. And then like watching Mira get her throat slit is like, oh no, what's gonna happen here? It was just horrifying. Like, don't play with my heart like that.
The whole when in Darna left, all that was going through was there's a possibility from Twilight.
I was the same way.
I think I
Same way.
called one of you, or maybe it was both of you. I was like, I'm feeling the Twilight depression start to hit.
Yeah, no, I had the same exact thing of like Bella Swan just curled up and just like sad depression. And that's all I could think of for Violet. Like, I think any emotional trauma like that has been ruined by Twilight.
Yeah, sadly. Um, so there is an excerpt in chapter 52 I want to talk about because I I think it was just like a simple passing. But for me, because of Rebecca saying, "Oh, that like I put stuff in plain sight," this hit home, and it was literally saying the closest way you can be to the gods or be a god was if you worked in the temple or that you were a writer. And this made me think of Panafi. I can't say her name. I don't know why. It's going to take me a long time. It's like cilantro. I could not say that for the longest time either. But at least I can say Wiener Schnitzel, Ashley. um, for those of you who don't know, Ashley for the longest time couldn't say it. But
I have no idea what you're talking about.
it's okay. Um, but going back to the temple and Panafi being, I can't say her name, I'm so sorry. Having power and storm power because she's got the markings of a priestess and stuff like that. So that means that writers aren't the only ones to have power. Instantly, that's why I was like, oh, because we know that she wasn't a writer. So how does she have lightning, which we then find out is storms? Um, but yeah, so that excerpt hit me, and I literally put in here a whole bunch of stuff, which I will save you all about. It's like references to the Greek and Roman gods, mythology. Like I went very deep on my notes in this, which ended up having nothing to do with the book. It just had a whole lot of Greek mythology. So I stopped myself.
I'm so happy that you brought that up because I kind of missed it. Um, it took me a while to be like, hold on, she wields. Hold on, we only think riders can wield power now. So when you brought that up, I was like, this has been books of knowing like that Theophany can wield. So I was like, why did this like slip my mind for so long? I
Yeah.
think that there's, yeah, sorry.
Oh no, go.
There's also another part in chapter 52 where Violet is at Dune's temple and she's talking to the priestess, and the priestess, I think it's the same I think it's the same thing, the same exact passage or same few paragraphs you were talking about, but I picked up a completely different note from there. The priestess again is asking Violet about her hair, and she's like, when were you dedicated? Like what's like, so we get a little more on Violet's dedication to the god of Dune. And we now know, like, we now know that she's been, she's got a connection to the goddess Dune, the goddess of war. And do you all think that we're gonna get gods in the next few books? Like, it doesn't seem like that's this type of world, but sometimes these books go in a way where they just expand out, where you have an actually bigger big bad. So I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think we're gonna get gods. I think that it's more just trying to like for me, I read that as there's more than one way to obtain the power or to attain a signet. Um, which is also where because I must have been Ashley or no, maybe it was Sam, one of you, when I brought up my daddy Sorengale might be a foresight person. You're like, no, he's a scribe. And then I blurted that out and I was like, no, it says that if you work like in the temple, but again, like with him being a scribe, but he was like there was so many different things. And there's such a mystery. I really do hope we get some kind of prequel book for Lilith and Asher because
Mhm.
there's so much in just their lives.
The other thing in that section is why the hell was she even at Dune's temple in the first place? And that's because she gets a little side note from Arik, our boy Cam, who is like, hey, go protect the temple. That's the only way we're winning this. So it's like, what? Like, and like they're all getting ready to go out and have this battle. And she's like, huh, I don't have time to delve into this right now. She's like, I gotta go. And so that confirms a lot of suspicions that we had had in the past of Cam having foresight and the ability to kind of know what's going on. Or it almost confirms, but like, let's say we're 90% sure that this is what's happening now. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I for sure was like, yep, foresight for sure, especially when she and Darna went and like it clicks that she's like, I'm at the temple and Darna's like, the prince told us to come here. Which I was like, oh, and I was like, and Darna knows. It's like he definitely has foresight for sure. And then I kind of feel like there's a little bit of redemption with the Irids
Hmm. But
coming
then
back.
immediately I hate them again.
It's like
Immediately.
it's one of those things where I hated it and loved it, and I got where Darna was coming from because you can only imagine what it's like to be an orphan, and
Mhm.
then someone who's actually your blood kin comes like after being rejected out of the family, so to speak. But then one of her immediate family comes and says, no, I will take you with me, but you have to choose. um
And
but
then
it
we find
was
out. I
so
know.
heartbreaking, like just the emptiness and stuff like that. And I do love Taryn. This is why he's Papa Taryn, just fully opening himself so that he was trying to fill the empty void or make it less noticeable for Violet. And so he was just trying, like, just pouring all of himself into that. So yeah.
It was really, really, really sad because I feel like we're finally getting an Andarna. But I also understand her choice, right? I understand, especially what she went through when she first met them. Like, it's almost like I would want to go back and, like, r really get to know these people or these dragons, right? Really get to know them and get to know what they actually mean and having that chance where that chance kind of like seemed wasted in the past. So the fact that she gets to go, I want to know more about what happened, what happens when she goes. I hope we get to see her again, and I think we will. I don't think Rebecca would put this much time and effort into building a bond with us and Andarna for us not to see her. And I think Andarna might find out more about like the cure, right? I think she's like in that mindset of whatever it takes. Remember they were talking about that before. So I have a theory that I have a hunch that Andarna is going to come back at some point, I hope, and give us a little more on that. But we also find out that the Irids can bend magic, right? So it's not just or the bonds that they make. So we find out that Andarna can kind of shield in a way that's similar to the RSC training. Remember they're doing this training and they got that serum. So I'm wondering, I don't think there's a connection between Irids and the serum, but I do think that they are kind of the answer to our original question for the first three quarters of this dang book of how do we fix Venom, right? Is there a cure? So that's kind of like my takeaway on that. But just heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I absolutely adore Violet. She said it once and she said it twice, which was that the Earage, they straight set her up for failure, and they expected her to know better. And Violet says exactly that, literally to, I can't remember his name, to his face. It was like, you set her up. You left her alone with no guidance, no info, nothing.
And I
So
think that's why like when he came back, he did say, I came back because your human defended you and you're like I wanted to know more about your bond here and that was kind of really really nice. My question, I wrote this down. I wrote if Andarna is gone, does that mean that Violet doesn't have a second signet? Like how the hell does this work?
I was wondering that too.
We know from these chapters like that she does, but that she still has it, but it's like how does this work? Did Andarna somehow like bend the magic so we broke the bond, but you can keep the signet? Because the magic comes from the dragon to have a signet, correct?
Yeah, I kind of took it more because I have a feeling with you. I think that Indarn is either going to come back at the end of the book or into the next book. Like she's for sure coming back. I had no guess, like she will come back. So I took it as that she bent the bond. And I think that it's more of an emptiness that Indarn is not there talking to her. Like she still can, because she's siphoning power. So unless she's turning venom, but there's no red eye ring. So I think we're okay. But I took it more like there's a bond still there and it's just being twisted and really like I kind of feel like the reason why she feels empty is that it's more the thought that Indarn is not there. And we know Indarn is going to come back. He didn't spend all this time on this character for it not to come back.
We have like more Theophany and Violet conversation than we've gotten before. So we find out like a little bit more, but I really like, did we need these chapters? Do you know what I mean? Did we
Yeah.
need these 10 chapters? Like, this is gonna be, I feel like this episode's gonna be so short because I'm just over it. I'm just like, we have no answers. Like, we have
No.
no freaking answers right now.
I
And
cannot
you're more
believe.
emotionally distraught and destroyed, which gets you angry.
Yeah, well, considering that your character actually almost died, like I mean,
I know.
right there.
Like I actually like got up and went to throw the book and Josh just looked at me like I was psychotic. And probably at the moment I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like I was so angry.
So
Like,
I believe in one of our previous episodes, I stated to Rebecca Yaros that if she killed off Zayden, she was going to piss off the entire Fourth Wing community. And I take it back. You almost pissed off the whole Fourth Wing community by killing off Mira. I feel like I would have closed the book if she actually died. I probably would have closed the book, told you all I wasn't finishing it, and then returned it.
Thank
So
God she's alive.
I have a note in here. This is just a random squirrel kind of thing. But so there's a scene when Mira's come in. Her and Brennan are just like arguing and going at it, and she's like, "I'm gonna go shower," and so Zayden goes in and he's helping her. It's a very sweet moment. It's not like an intimacy, like sexual thing. Like it's a relationship, like a partner. Like if one of us are sick, our husbands take care of us. And it's very much that. But my OCD kicked in, and all I was thinking was, "You're washing her feet." This is what instead of like the emotional Twilight like depression thing. No, I didn't focus on that. I focused that Zayden started washing her feet first instead of washing her hair. You wash top from the top down, not with the feet first.
Well, boys use one bar of soap for everything, so well, he probably doesn't know.
That drove me nuts. It's literally in bold writing in my notes.
It is a
Yeah.
sweet moment, though. He does help her through that depression. And like you said, Taryn is helping her through that as well and like giving her all that power. So she does have a really good support system. But it's like if you've ever gone through a loss or grief or anything like that, it's like some people are just like there for you and you don't have to explain yourself. And that's always like those are the best people to have around you versus like the people who are like, I don't really know what to say. Like there's this weird tension where it's like I want to say I'm sorry, but I don't know what to say or do. And it is really nice that she's got Taryn and Zayden. But
So one of the things I have for my notes about Cam and his foresight, um, because like I literally after my OCD washing her feet first thing, is literally 4 text message notes that are at least a paragraph each about Cam's foresight abilities, and then wondering if he knows anything about her parents putting through the dedication. And I was wondering that stuff because of the whole Dune related things, because it's not just like, oh, the priestess and stuff like that. Unless he's talked to the priestess, Like he went, I'm assuming maybe he went and talked to her and was like, hey, like you all need to be ready and this is what's going to happen. But I wonder if she may have told him a little bit of Violet's back, like, because she knows that she was being dedicated, apparently. Or am I
Yeah.
imagining that?
Or like, but also I didn't really, that was something I didn't really understand why Violet had to be at Dune's temple. Like, were they protecting something there?
Yeah, I wondered if it was more the whole relationship with like, yeah. Because I
Maybe
was
like
like, well,
Violet can draw power, like you were saying before, like you get signet power from your,
oh
yeah,
my
right?
God.
You get
Oh my
signet
God.
power from your
No.
dragon. Maybe she gets signet power from being there.
So Phenophafi, we know is I know you're just giggling at me because I can't say her name. We
It's
know
cute.
Thea was a priestess.
Yes.
So can Venom go into temples?
I would assume so.
No, I'm gonna say that blows my theory away.
I feel
Because
like
I
it might be more like if push comes to shove, or did
oh, she
Arik
walks
just
through a
see?
temple in one of the islands,
Yeah,
doesn't
she
she?
walks through a
So never
temple.
mind.
What if the old gods were Venom?
Oh,
Oh
interesting.
I'm just sitting here like thinking of like these gods were, worshipped for these powers, but yet they weren't dragon riders. That would have been written. So what if they were Venom?
Right. Right, the
And I
dragons
mean,
come
this is
much
my
later.
theory. This is my theory going back to I don't necessarily think the Venom are the bad guys. I don't think the dragons are the good guys. I think that there's something going on there where I'm like, something like the dragon thing is just, there's just something that doesn't sit right with me. Like, I don't know what it is, but
what
maybe
if the
I'm just
old
being
gods were
crazy.
just the Irids?
Well, it's just, that's the only thing that is different between every other continent or island. So, what I'm just so like my brain is just not letting it go. Um,
I definitely
and
think you're onto something, though. Like, I definitely think there's more to the Venom than leads on. Like, it sounds like because we have this Berwin character and we have this Theophany character, and I don't know, like, are there like different factions of belief in this, even in their own like Venom society too? Um, like it sounds like they're trying to like tip the scales of power. So they talk a lot about how there's balance, right? Between we have a shadow wielder and now we have Lynx is the new shadow wielder.
yeah,
Because right? And now we have like we knew that well, Theophany is really old, and we now know she wields weather. So when Violet's mom was getting her second signet, she got weather to balance that out. So it's like it seems like they're trying to like get Violet. They're trying to get all these people to their side to kind of tip the scales of power in a way. Um, but I did see, so Rebecca Yarros has been on tour lately, right, for her promotion of
yeah,
Onyx Storm. And she did come out and say that dragons lie.
yeah.
She was
That's what,
like,
and I saw that and I was
dragons
like,
lie.
am
So,
she said that and I was like, am I right? Are the dragons not the good guys or not 100? Like, we know that the Empyrean is split, right? With beliefs and power struggles and stuff. So I was just like, I saw that comment and I was like, that's so interesting that you would say that.
yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna have to have a theory corner once we finish the stinking book because I just like, but it's hard to see how we can get to like it's gonna be interesting to see if that's true, like if Venom aren't the real enemy, or is it like are humans just stuck in the middle between Venom and dragons battling it
Yeah.
out over power?
I have a hard time believing that the Venom aren't bad. we've had 3 books that tell us everything's bad, that they just kill mercilessly and they're just draining the earth of all of its power. Like just they just suck the life out of everything. But I don't know. I guess that could be, and that maybe that's the big catch-all of this whole thing. But
Well, we also got a whole first book of thinking,
Deception.
yeah. So now is it just like the government was deceiving them and then the Empyrean was like, yeah, I'm gonna let you guys play your stupid little game of thinking the Griffins are awful. And when in reality, we're like trying to keep, this other thing.
True.
I don't know. I don't know. I think there's gonna be some big like truth bombs coming in the next book.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a so I have this note. Where the hell is Jack Barlow in this book?
He's
I
in the
expected
Rebustan
more.
He's
chest. He's in the
floating in the
Rebustan
chest.
chest, just floating around.
But I mean, I expected Jack Barlow to have a more substantial play in this book. I don't know why. I think it's everybody loves to have a bully that has a redemption arc. And I don't know necessarily Jack's going to have that redemption arc, but I think that he's out to save himself. We all know this. Um, but yeah, I'm wondering after the whole threw a knife, tried to kill him kind of thing, maybe he'll switch sides. I'm not gonna hold
No, I think they
my
wanted to
breath.
kill him so that he couldn't tell them any information, so they couldn't like get. So like when they pull him out, so Theophany wants Jack back. Seems like, and then she makes a comment. She's like, because Berwyn told you more, like Berwyn trusts his initiates more than I trust mine, right? So she was kind of like, he knows things. So I think she's trying to kill him just so that he doesn't give information to the riders.
Oh, that's true. I didn't.
So I don't think he would turn. I think he's like fully Team Venom. Like I don't think he's gonna redeem himself ever, period.
Hmm. It's so hard to figure out where she's gonna take this story.
Yeah.
Um, though it seems like Zayden's doing a pretty good job of keeping his Venom stuff in check. During the battle, he and obviously Sigil. Like we don't really hear Sigil talk to Violet much. And she like briefly, I think, said something to her. Ashley's frozen on my end.
Oh no. She's frozen on my end too. Hopefully she'll join us.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna take a little note down to jot that out because we might need to do a little beep beep situation. I think that happens later in the battle, my love.
no, because she does it to win Fanath when they're at the temple.
Oh, she's like, hang in there for him. We lost
Mhm.
Ash. We lost her.
Yeah, she's straight gone.
I'll keep an eye out for her. Bye. She peaced out like Andarna.
Peace out.
Um,
No, she says something like
she
it's just something
doesn't she? It's
she
something
doesn't
quick. She
show up.
says,
Yeah.
right, but she does say to Violet, right, like you gotta hang in there, right, or something like
Uh,
that. Oh no, she's talking about because Violet can't talk to Taryn because Taryn flies Mira off to safety, so
yes.
she can't. And so Sigale's like, you have to hang on, you have to hang on, and or Sigale says something along. Wait, Sigale says something along the lines of, you know, you're so messed up for being the only one to face off Theophany. I can't believe you'd put yourself in this vulnerable situation. And then she's like, but you're doing a good job distracting the sage. That's what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't imagine that. Like, no, for sure.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Completely forgot about that. My bad.
Yeah, because I was like, there's something about her relationship. Like that was Because I was just like, I think this is the most I've ever heard Sigale talk.
Oh, we also get another little tidbit in that scene where Theophanie's talking to Violet and she starts to drain the earth, and Violet's like, shit, I can't outrun this. But
Yeah.
she's like, wait, Theo said something about you're safe. She's like, if you just channel, like you'd be safe because if you alter the earth you're standing on, we can't get to you. So Violet's like, oh shit. She climbs up on a wyvern carcass and saves herself.
Yep. Because it's dead already.
Which is a great battle point to know, right? Like it's
Yep.
dead already. You just hop up there, like we're good. So
Well,
at the
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna bring us to the last chapter 60 if you're ready to go there.
Well, I just want to make one thing. So does this mean knowing that if they're fighting Venom in a desolate place that they've already drained, can't you just like kind of do the old fashioned wear them down technique since they can't draw any more power from dead stone or dead everything's dead around them? Can't they? I mean,
Yeah. I think I hope we see that. I hope they try to lure Venom into those, but they seem to only want to go for like, you know, juicy, magic rich areas.
I
yeah.
would like to see them face the Venom on their own on Venom territory. I want to see that happen.
Yeah,
There's
wait,
so much
hold on.
unknown. Like why aren't we sending somebody or spies or something to go and find out what's happening in the further reaches where we know Venom are?
Is there a
Like,
world where we have Zayden in his Venom
Go be a
and
spy.
then because he can connect you with Violet and she can walk into his little dreams?
I mean, it
I
would be
think
a great
That's such
offensive
a Court of
use.
Thorns and Roses vibe.
it is. It is. But that would be you get some good intel that way. Ash, that's brilliant.
That's a really good idea. Maybe book 4. Book 4.
So we get yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that book for a while.
Couple years.
Um, so we get Theophany. We know she's a weather wielder, but then they're alone in the field, and Theophany basically just wants Violet to channel. She's like, channel, just do it. If you channel, you're safe, right? And then the chapter ends with Violet saying, when push comes to shove, I'm not the best of us. She is. What the fuck she are they talking about?
Imogen or
Mira and Darna,
Re,
like
I think
Rhiannon,
I kind of
Sloan.
thought it was Ree
Sigale.
because they switch in the next chapter. They go to Ree's point of view, don't they?
The next chapter 61, when we'll talk about next week, goes into Ree's, but she is the best of it. Like maybe it is Ree. I just like I
The
don't
only reason
know.
I'm making
Or
that
maybe
connection is
it's
because she switched like it ends
Like
with
we
that,
know
and then
that's
you
the
read it the next
next.
page.
Yeah.
Um,
maybe it's Andarna. I think it could the best of us is Andarna. Like, she's just so pure and innocent.
Right.
Everything's new. Um,
I
yeah,
definitely I got that vibe, that same vibe as you, Ash.
yeah. Um, and maybe that's just her unconditional love for Andarna, you know? So,
I
I
got
I
I
don't
got
know.
it as like you're saying like I'm not the best of us. She is. Like is Violet saying like I don't think it's physically the strongest. I think she's talking about someone who's like sacrificed just as much. That's why I was thinking maybe is it Sigale that she's talking about? Like and yeah, right,
Ooh.
like someone who's sacrificed for them and like which would be Sigale because she's sacrificed her rider essentially, right? I don't know. But I got the idea that it was something that was more of like a moral better than Violet.
I like the connection about Sigale because like when I kind of felt I can feel definitely Sigale. The only reason, again, I thought it was Rihanna is because, like, at the end of the page, I could see that the next page literally said that it was to her point of view.
Totally. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, so that goes to that. But now that you say it, like, if I take away knowing that the next chapter is that, I feel Sigale like that's like a gut instinct. Like Sigale is, even though she's angry with Xaden for what he's done in pulling the power, she's still standing by him, even though she's obviously pisses off at him. She's still staying with him. So
Yeah. Any final comments on these last 10? Any other things you wanted to cover?
How about the moment between Dane and Sloane?
ooh la la.
I'm
They're being
like, I'll
shipped
hurt you.
so hard.
God, don't I know it? Like, oh,
There's somebody did an actual cartoon of that scene and it came across my Instagram feed and it was phenomenal because it's like no, and like it's just like her going and then like him just scooping her up by the waist and just I was just like like just like you hold your like it's I don't know, it's when you see your best friend kind of like swooning over somebody and like seeing that they're making a connection, like the flirty aggression and stuff like that. And I was just like,
I mean, good for Dane. He deserves to find love. He was gonna have to go on The Bachelor otherwise.
also, it kind of fits with the trend of a third year boy with a first year girl.
shall I get the wing leader part 2?
That's an interesting pair though, because he can read the minds and she can wipe them. So together, no one's gonna know what the fuck just happened. He can like read them and then she can be like, haha, and now you forget, but Dane knows.
Wait,
Dane
isn't
can
Sloane's
Dane.
power to pull power out of somebody
Yeah,
else?
Oh,
Sloane's
I'm an
is
idiot.
siphon.
You're thinking of
I'm an
Etch a
idiot.
Sketch.
See,
You're thinking of
who is
Imogen.
Etch-a-Sketch? Imogen. Jesus.
Imogen,
Dang. You
Imogen and
see
Garrett.
why?
Imogen and
Yes.
Garrett is who everybody's
Shipping
rooting
works.
for. Imogen has had that crush on Garrett forever.
Wait, isn't Imogen dating Quinn?
No.
I thought Imogen and Quinn. See,
Bree.
this is why. Okay, I'm just gonna go out and say it. I know we have more chapters to go. I know we have more chapters to talk about, but like, I'm so annoyed that we have characters who you have to remember something about that character from the first book,
Yeah.
right? I 100% Imogen and Quinn were together all the time, right? I
I thought it
100%
was
thought they were
Ree.
dating.
It was
Is it?
Ree. Ree and
No,
Quinn
Im
were boning. Imogen
Oh.
has always had a crush on Garrick, and you can see it because she stand like they're in the
um
sparring
I
challenge
did the
room
same thing,
area,
Sam.
and like they're standing there, and you see Imogen's just staring at Garrick, and Violet makes a comment of like, "I know that look."
Oh, yes. But see, I'm with Sam, like, because I definitely thought Imogen was the lesbian, and
remember.
I couldn't
R
remember
Ree's
who
bi
was
for
with who.
sure.
All I was remembering was Dane's an asshole, Violet and Xaden were screwing, Mira's gonna get with Drake, and Brennan's on his own. That's the mental capacity I have. And then I got Sloane and Dane. And like it went from Dane's a bitch to Dane's with Sloane. Like
Yeah.
that's
We're
Sloane's
gonna
the
many
have
people.
like
That's
siphon.
the
seven people I
conspiracy
have to
theorist
keep
wall
track of.
going. We're
Sloane's
gonna
the
have the wall
siphon.
with the yarn and the thumbtacks going. Is what's gonna
Yes,
happen.
yes. But I feel like that's what I need because like the first two books were fine, I was like, okay, but I remember when Onyx Storm came out, everyone was like, who are these characters again? Like, and it wasn't even we read them really close to release date, so it's like fresh in my mind. So that I'm just like there's so many moving pieces, like who's dragon, who's signet. So it was just that was one of the biggest challenges, I think. Sorry to go on that tangent, but it was just a challenge for me in this book.
I'm still confused on who Nyx is. Also, he's a shadow wielder. Where the hell is he in this battle? Wouldn't you thought
Links.
that Xaden would have been
Thanks.
like, follow me, my Padawan? Yeah, Lynx, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
again, who the hell is he? I can't remember his name.
Any final remarks?
Um,
And Darna, come back to us.
If Andarna doesn't come back by the end of the book, she's got to come back within the first 10 chapters of the fourth book. That is my prediction. Um, yeah, I have nothing. Also, we apologize, or I have to apologize to you all because, like, I remember texting you this week because I was like, God, how many, like, just trying to plan out how many chapters to do and stuff like that. And I discovered that there's only 66 chapters, and we were talking about, oh, there's 68. My audiobook, it's 66 chapters for the book, but then in my special edition book there's 2 additional chapter things which are just side stories. So to our viewers, we're sorry, there's actually only 66 chapters, so we only have 6 next time, which is kind of better because we get to deep dive harder, I feel. Well, I don't know.
We're gonna go
this one was a
harder.
mess.
We're gonna go harder, and we're gonna go deeper.
That's what he said.
My closing remark is there's a possibility
That the next chapters are gonna suck.
It's been ages since I've honored the color of my scale in such a manner.
Yes.
We'll catch you all next time. We are Girl, What Page You On? Bye, everyone.
Bye.